Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
So, tonight we're going back to the root of why we are doing what we are doing. And nothing better than the COVID-19 pandemic showed us all of these things we speak of in action. And, when I started this YouTube channel, I said that people would have to make a choice. It was actually in the introduction video. What side of history will you be on? That you would have to make a choice between greater good ideology and individual freedom, liberty, freedom of choice, being able to basically eke out a life for yourself the way you want to without government and corporations and other global influences telling you what to do. And we saw during the COVID-19 pandemic, I think, the first pangs of a worldwide effort to control people in a prolific way, using mainstream media, using governments, through international agencies that have not been elected by anyone. And people suffered because of it. And post the pandemic, when, for instance, the PIA Act was used to make the way that the government procured vaccines, for instance, available to the public, you could see that these suppliers said that their vaccines were untested, that there was no guarantee that there won't be side effects. And our government just blindly wanted to force this down our throats, just short of mandating it. And lots of people fell for it, and it became part of the experiment. So, people became lab rats, unfortunately. And many of you here might be a part of those people, and we're not going to laugh or scoff and scorn at you because there's people with serious health problems. Because of this, I had a colleague of mine die after getting his second vaccine, started getting strokes, and then all of a sudden, cancer, there was no, it just accelerated and he died within a very short space of time. So we see very interesting things happening in the world, and the mainstream media is saying nothing about it. They won't say anything. So we, even on YouTube, are limited by what we can say. So I'm not a medical professional. I can't give medical advice, but I can say that our government sold us out, and that the ridiculous amount of money they were given, I believe it was over R500 billion, was spent where? Where was this money spent? So this was just a precursor. It was just the first big global tester. It was not a forever event and it's never going to happen again. We are going to be tested more in worse ways. And hopefully in South Africa, the people will resist it in future. Your thoughts?
Wow, my thoughts. I haven't got many thoughts after today. My thoughts escape me, but it's true. I think one thing, thank you for the compliments, people, on the interview today. There should be another interview coming up soon. That should be loaded soon. I'll send the link hopefully tomorrow if it's up. I like that the interviewer brought the global aspect in, because we as a country, as a nation, need to be sovereign. Our government actually fights South African sovereignty. Our government is against the state's sovereignty. So does that mean the government's an enemy to the state? I'm really trying to swing that angle in theory. But it's true, because the politicians don't care about strengthening the state, the country, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of military or anything. So that's a problem.
We have our main largest city in the country without water right now. Most areas. And
And the politicians make it sound like it's the people's fault. You're
And
drinking too much.
you don't need to be a prophet today. I get so frustrated with all these young boys and older men that call themselves prophets. 3 years ago, I went around telling people that nothing will be done to the water infrastructure and we'll have massive, massive failure of water supply. I didn't say this because I'm a prophet or because I had some feeling. I look at facts on the ground. I look at plans that I know about that are being implemented. And the plan's being implemented by doing bugger all about the water supply. Because there's a lot you can do. If I had to be sent in as a person with a right to solve the water problems in the country, it'll be solved in a very short space of time. Because we know exactly what needs to be done. This is not rocket science. It is pipes and pumps and reservoirs. That's all it is. And treatment of sewage is a separate thing, but that is easy to deal with. But the infrastructure will not be built. There is a reason for this. And once you understand the reason for this, you will understand why I say COVID-19 was just the start. They don't believe they need to build more. Let me leave it at that. And that's why you need to make a choice. And the 2024 elections is not the live all and be all. It's not that. What we need to do now is make as many people as possible know that your life is under threat, that humanity is under threat, that the fact that you are a human is under threat right now. Because there's people in this world that don't want you to exist. I'll just put it plainly like that. They want you to not exist. I suppose that's the safest way of putting it, right?
I was just thinking of a conversation me and my youngest had.
Okay.
Bethany. She was like, if OM doesn't work, you could always become a villain and buy all the land that's available. And then I said, my dear, there's already someone doing that.
Yes.
His name's Bill Gates.
And he's got Billy and Goat Gates. Yes. Billy Goat Gates is already doing that.
It's hilarious.
People, I haven't in a long time gotten to the crux and the nuts and the bolts, because I can. The moment I do that, you will see why this channel exploded the way it did initially and why it came to a standstill. Because the moment I spoke of those things, the moment YouTube started getting traction in the World Health Organization, I had videos removed. The channel was censored many times. And each time that happened, it was a week before I could put out anything again.
I remember.
And if you do it a second time, then it's 2 weeks. A third time, it's 3 weeks, and then your account is shut down and you lose the platform. So in the best interest, and that's a greater good decision I had to make for the channel, because I created the channel and this community that's part of it, I want to try and protect them as much as possible. But now I'm going to go to the limits again. I need to go to the limits and explain to you in no uncertain terms that South Africa is a target, a global target. 2025 is the year that is set aside for the government to collapse, not the country. The economy of a country cannot collapse if the people aren't all dead and not able to produce. As long as people are able to produce, there's an economy. But for the government to collapse, the problem is they want everyone to believe that there will be nothing to fill that void. And we are preparing people to be able to do that. And this is important, and that's why we do training. But besides that, there are international entities that want to form an interim government during that time. This plan was known in the 70s already. In the 70s. Just like it was planned for the ANC to become the ruling party. At the time, Nelson Mandela wasn't chosen yet as the man to take over. It was the ANC leader at the time. They decided on Nelson Mandela later, but the ANC was chosen. The ANC that died in 1930 was resurrected in 1940 by completely different people with completely different agendas. The very same people that is driving the wars around the world, that is orchestrating the terrorist attacks. All of this for one purpose, to get you to hand over your freedom on a platter. That simple. There is nothing else to it. So you need to choose between greater good. For the greater good, let's put a camera on every lamppost, put a microphone on every lamppost. It's for your greater good. It's for your safety that we're going to do this. until it's turned against you. We're going to use your taxpayers' money to do this to you. Now, which person in his right mind would allow that? What kind of person would allow that? Any government to do that? The government is not your boss. We are the government, if we want to be. But this is the question: do people actually want to be the government? Because in a real democracy, the people are the government, and they elect representatives to represent them in various things. That's how it's supposed to be. That's not the case now in this country or in any other country in the world. And I mean, I think you laid it out beautifully in the interview earlier. And I actually like the fact that people can hear you get off the hook and really get into the nitty gritty of explaining things, because we do have to get to the nuts and bolts.
Mm-hmm. But you're right about one thing. Unfortunately, it always
What
seems
am I
to
wrong
me
about?
many things.
Okay,
I'll point them out.
that's fine.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I forgot now. Huh?
Yeah, the stupid of thought.
Oh yes, stupid people. What? No, not stupid people. People that don't want proper democracy. So this is the one, I suppose, flaw in Ohm's plan, is that once we dissolve parties and we get into the system where independents run for public office only, no parties anymore, if the majority of the population are not willing to stand for public office, then we'll fall into a dictatorship again. That is guaranteed. So the system is dependent on you and me and everyone being willing to run for public office.
Well, we've been in a dictatorship now for how long? It's just
but we'll
in a
go
party
back
system.
to it in
Yeah.
a heartbeat if we let our guard down.
So
and get
you do need
comfortable.
both, and this is why OMI is doing two things: the political side and the social side. If we don't get the social side right, it cannot work.
No, so that's a bit terrifying, a bit chilling. That part. Hopefully, the younger generation understands and continues. And that brings me back to my favorite, most profound scene in the Hunger Games trilogy, or are there four? I can't remember.
4.
The fourth one, right at the end. Who knows the scene? I've spoken about it before. The scene is Katniss and Peter, is that his name? Are free. They're in some grassland having a picnic, and she's holding a baby. And she's telling her baby how you'll never know what they went through. 100%. So that baby and that entire generation is going to grow up and possibly implement a dictatorship all
Be
over
brats,
again.
yeah.
And the cycle continues. And that is frustrating. So that's probably the scariest thing. But at least with Ohm, we create our own, what Klaus Schwab calls a great reset in South Africa. We can start again. We have the opportunity to build a country. And we have to make sure we put things in place so that future generations continue democracy properly. By democracy, I mean active citizenry. So there's two choices: be free and have a lot of responsibility, or have no responsibility and always be a subject.
Before I forget, there's a very important thing we need to mention.
Mm-hmm.
You can apply now to vote outside of the place where you are registered. Let's get back to that later.
Okay.
And there's a time frame for that. I think 2 days where you can apply for that. That's important. They will mention that later. But speaking about the Hunger Games, that is exactly where we're at. There's already people sitting without water. They're getting water from water tankers in Joburg. Who would have ever imagined that? I could, because I knew it was going to happen. There's a lot more that I know is going to be orchestrated. And there's certain things we can do something about. There's certain things we cannot do things about. So we have to focus on the things we can do. And that has been a theme of your own plan from the beginning. We need to focus on the things we can do. And we can reach as many people as possible. We never thought we were going to reach everyone. Never. We knew we needed a critical mass of people so that when things go bad, Ohm becomes the obvious choice and people adopt it wholesale. If that is not the case, you go to plan B, like literally, unfortunately. And then but like we always say, if you don't permanently work on plan A, you'll never get it back. if you permanently work on plan A, you could have a period of plan B and you can return to plan A. So you will always be able to have or create a civil society again. And that's
Michelle
important.
Mayer says, I will always stand with you. I was one of the first 10 peeps to subscribe to Double O Days in Cape Town.
Wow, Michelle.
Since moved to Uganda, but will always support lots of expats and spreading the word.
Well, I hope you people can vote over there. I don't know if you still a citizen or what your situation is. What is it like in Uganda? Please tell us. Well, lots of comments.
Water shedding in Kimberley, wonderful. 6 to 9, no tap water. Sure.
You know, like I said to people, we wouldn't have to convince you. Things will happen to people. And as I said this morning in the video and in my previous video I put out, that financially people are in serious doo-doo, like in big trouble. When 3 of the top banks in South Africa tells you that the bad debt has increased, in other words, people not repaying their debt, the amount of people begging at the robots is just increasing and increasing. The recklessness on the roads is just increasing. People are getting more and more frustrated. You can see that people's demeanor is changing. And yeah, I suppose Klaus Schwab's word, as much as he doesn't believe in protecting humanity, reset is probably a good word to use. We used to do that on the simulator, after we had this horrible accident. You press the reset button, everything resets back to normal, and you've got a nice running plant with a running reactor producing megawatts on the grid. So a reset is not an evil word at all. But there's many evil people that have used good words and literally raped them and abused them. The word sustainable is another word, isn't it? You can't use the word sustainable these days because it's associated with some nutcases that want to put you into human prisons.
Sustainable is a beautiful word.
Of course
Anyway,
it is.
Sonia,
So is comrade.
Sonia says, can you please send the calendar for Amiga training? The next module 1 will be 23rd of March.
Yeah, the 23rd. I can't wait to start with the modules. It is so exciting. We need to make the certificates for those that have run the gauntlet. Those that must still do the gauntlet in their areas, I suppose people can organize Zooms where they do it. And then we can just confirm that the people in the area have done their own gauntlet runs, and then we can certify that they've done the
so much time left.
Yeah, but they can still do it over a period of time. They don't have to do it immediately right now, like in the next 3 months or so.
Lana says, Days, you mentioned listening devices this morning. Excuse my ignorance, where are those things?
So, Lana, you will see when fiber was dug in, it was dug in along all the lampposts. So at the moment, we have gunshot trigger devices. So they are microphones set up for specific frequencies. However, in China, you can walk down the street without a device and order something. Every pole thing has a microphone in it. And you can stand there and it'll be delivered to you. Because that device has got a GPS tracking device, tells the delivery person where to go. So very soon that'll be implemented here in South Africa. Now I can tell you that there are microphones that can pick up the literal signature of your car's engine. It can tell you how fast you are going. I don't want to give away too much, but I think people are just so ignorant as to what is possible. Because of my time in intelligence, I was exposed to a lot of technology and what is possible, including using speakers to see what is happening in a room. It is incredible what you can do with technology. And once people know what is possible, they will change how they do things, especially with phones around. So, yeah, I know that at this stage, I spoke about the micro dots in the new license plates. The detectors for that has already been put up at every toll plaza in the country. But not just there, they're putting it under bridges and certain key strategic points on national roads. You're driving past those pickups, you don't even know they are there. I've said enough.
So Uganda sounds lovely. No load shedding for one. Electricity rates are low. Abundance of fresh fruit and veg.
Andries are buying crackers.
Not as expensive as SA.
Andries go find a pole and tie the crackers to the pole. Oh, I didn't say that. I could now, when the terrorist act is signed, who knows what
Yeah,
can
no,
happen.
it's not
Goodness,
safe.
people. Yeah, you need to be really careful what you put out on social media. Certain people will just be targeted, of course. So yeah, we're gonna have to make a choice, and the choice is between this greater good ideology where you say, where people say, "Oh well, for the greater good, we have to relinquish all of these freedoms so that we can remain safe." Twak story. When the police captain and the people in the police station know who all the gangsters are, where all the crooks are, where all the drugs are sold, they know. Why aren't they arresting them? Because they can't. Because we have a fake government. They are fake. The police, they are fake. If they were real, they would sort this out. But we don't have a real police force. We have a police service that beat up on women. Men that beat up on women. That's what we have.
Again.
I didn't mention your name.
No, you didn't, but you pointed in this direction.
Goodness. Yeah, psycho. And we have a military that kills civilians, make them do naked frog walks and rolls down the street and whatnot. Psycho, man. Our country is bedormant at what the people do, and it's this craziness that makes it possible for us to withstand these global idiots. That's the irony. If it wasn't for our harrigatness and bedormantness, the world would have taken over this country already. They said, not the damn. I mean, can you imagine the Yanks sending their troops into Cape Town? The young Americans, big smile on their face. Weapons. Are we going to vat hulle uit vanaand? Yeah, it's going to be braaivleis. Né?
Gross.
So, yeah, I don't think anyone wants to come and mess with this country. Because the people are hardcore. Okay, the people in this country are so flippin' hardcore that they've put up with this government for so long. Don't think for a second that the majority of people support the ruling party. They do not. We have a fraction of freaking people that are eligible to vote actually voting for the circus. The majority of them say that they don't believe in the system. This is from polls. And in 2019, for the first time, below 50% of eligible voters, not registered voters, eligible voters voted. Less than half. Which means that I think the African National Congress only had like 30% support amongst voters that are eligible. Now, that's not a democracy. In a true democracy, citizen involvement is so strong that 70% or more of the people rock up to vote because they believe it works or that it matters. Typically, it would be 80 to 90%. In a healthy democracy, 70% plus. I think we've only had that once or twice. 1994, and I think one subsequently, under Jacob Zuma. In fact, there were many records under Jacob Zuma.
It's weird when a president becomes an MP.
Yeah, he's in line to become an MP. Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah. And at the moment, they might become, the MK party might become the third largest party in the country. They are polling at 10 to 15%.
Interesting.
Yeah. So what are you reading that's interesting? Yeah, exactly, Charles. There's many laws that they create at this stage that they can't police. like spitting in the street. When I was a lightie, it was a 200 rand fine. That's still the case today. I haven't seen anyone arrested for spitting in the street.
Esther says that because of this, she moved to the smallest town she could find. That sounds awesome.
Smallest town you could find. We're going to try and beat you with that. I know people that found nothing and then just built what they have. So you get people that do that too. No town. Like none. Imagine.
Marlene, that sounds about right.
I like that. Especially drones. I've actually told my boys that they need to figure out ways for us to sort out drones, to come up with inventive ways, and they've come up with all sorts of things. So yeah, the flippant plane, that thing's driving me nuts. The hours that thing flies at, and it's noisy. My word, it's really annoying. But thanks for joining us. Do you want to give an update on the funds? What's happened with the funds?
Last time I checked, I think we're 65,000 Rand. I can check again.
Yeah, please check.
And that takes us to 20%. So actually, I went and did some research, got some prices. It's going to cost us 90,000 Rand for 2,000 posters. And
boards.
Currently, I feel like...
posters or boards or what?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Both. Okay. Currently, I feel like we have the volunteers for 2,000 on a good day, 2,000 posters. More than that's not going to be practical until we get more volunteers. We're looking for volunteers for elections. Volunteers to man voting stations on election day, observe the voting process, and then also to help putting up and taking down posters. So if you're interested in volunteering, please send Om a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I'll type it in here.
Expanding foam, yeah, I like that idea too. But we're really going to have to become original. So please, if you did not apply for Omega training this year, please do apply for next year. We should have training running around the country by then, so a lot more people will be able to do the training. And a lot of people have asked, but how you for the own plan, you need educated people. You need people to know what's going on, and the country's not educated. Well, we are educating the country. We are starting, and you have to start somewhere. And we started with a really strong base, and from there it can just expand. And as that grows, remember, it just grows exponentially. So very soon, we'll be training thousands of people.
Okay, so the 2 questions about poster boards. How much are they? It's
yes, activators can absolutely provide the boards
98,000 per for 2,000 posters. Marlene, yeah, that's true. Okay, so
I absolutely believe that's what should happen, is that people should make the boards in their area.
And
otherwise you have to courier it all the way there. Like
under what?
Plug the thing on and what?
Under what authority is VD?
I have no authority. I'll shut up.
Thank you. So to buy a board, one board gives you 8 poster boards, and they're 250 Rand each. We're thinking of having between 50 and 100 per area where there's an area activator. So you can do the maths. I think it'll be a little bit difficult for, like for instance, in Jeffreys Bay, for you guys to come up with that amount of money for backing boards. But if you want to try, absolutely go for it. They are going to be supplied locally. So whichever supplier we choose to go with at the end, then you can pick them and we will pay them directly. But you can try do it yourself locally, definitely. I'm speaking to the area activators tomorrow, not just the area activators, anyone that's willing to be a volunteer. We're going to have a Zoom tomorrow evening. So please just WhatsApp the number in this chat. Where did it go? All the way up there. Hope I typed that right. Cool. Who is in Mpumalanga? We have someone. I'm sure she was one of the first people to say hello.
What did you just do?
I moved the chat. That's all. There we go.
No, you did not. You highlighted it all.
So we do have someone in Mpumalanga. in Barberton.
Yeah, AJ, Payfast. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Anyone can make payments on
Hi,
Payfast.
Lizelle. There you are. Lizelle. Oh, you're in Nedbank. Why did I think Barberton? I'm thinking of Audrey. Never mind. Lizelle is in Nedbank. Where are you, Michelle? Oh, wait. Michelle's in Uganda. Great. Yeah, so that's the update. We're still fundraising. I've sent an email out to members. I'm going to continue putting messages out on social media for everyone to just fundraise, send us 20 Rand or 50 Rand or whatever. Posters and infotable packages are number one priority. Our first goal is to get 30 infotable packages. That takes us to 200,000 Rand. So with posters and infotable packages, that equals to about 300,000 Rand in total.
That's impossible. You're so small, you don't belong to a municipality.
That's fascinating. That is so cool. That's amazing. You have found a pocket of freedom. Where are you?
Is that even possible? We'll join you.
Please WhatsApp me where you are.
Yeah,
We will join you. That sounds amazing. You don't belong to your municipality?
Yeah, you can message us. Yeah. Email us.
Okay.
We'll also get something there.
Want to know how to do what, AJ?
The Payfast.
Payfast. What?
Yeah. Payfast is fairly straightforward.
Mm.
But it's an international platform, so you can pay from anywhere.
So besides fundraising, we definitely need volunteers leading up to the elections, the election day itself, and then taking down of posters. So please WhatsApp us. I'll contact you tomorrow with the Zoom link so we can discuss what we're going to do leading up to the election day. We have 11 weeks. 11 weeks is nothing.
Yeah, just remember, we went from a 6-month campaign plan to 2 months and a bit. Literally.
But I think everyone should see that as a good thing because it'll be intense, it'll be hectic, we'll be exhausted. But
it'll be over faster.
It's just 11 weeks.
And there's 2 by-elections now.
I'm Googling that, Hester.
No, I know where it is.
That sounds familiar.
Frack. Seriously? No, that is in the middle of nowhere.
Cool.
I've checked for land and property there already.
Nice.
But check Lauren is really now.
Oh, you're by the beach. Even better.
Ice cold beach, you mean?
Yeah, ice cold beach is not my favorite. But anyway. Okay. Phil's putting a nice reminder here. If you do donate your own, put your name, your initial at least, and surname as a reference.
Lauren, numbers.
That hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed.
We are in about 65,000 and something. Do you want the exact something?
Tell everyone what it's at.
I have to log into Payfast.
It would have changed since this morning. This
Definitely.
morning, what was it? 63,000 this morning. That was a huge avalanche that came in, like overnight.
Yes, thank you everyone who donated last night. Most of that cleared this morning, so thank you very, very much.
Yeah, maybe the payments will only clear tomorrow morning. Nedbank's weird. I don't know how it works. If I ran a campaign to raise funds, I'll be checking it like every few minutes. Lauren will check it by accident and then get the fright of her life. That's hilarious to observe.
Well,
you're not a money person. You're just good at spending my money, right?
Very.
Yeah.
I would win the Olympics if there was an Olympic sport. Okay.
Our money.
Oopsie. 65,120 is where we're at.
Okay, there you go.
65,120. So well done, everyone. In just
day
4 days, we've reached 20%. So that's awesome. Thank you very much to everyone that made a contribution. And so we want to raise it in 2 weeks so that we have the rest of the time just to campaign. That's the goal. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, 1/5 daar, 1/5 there. So we just need to reach more people at this stage.
We will.
But already with the 60,000 rand, the 2 by-elections, they are up there. So there's four packages there, so they can attend to 4 VDs.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Oh, 2 by-elections on the same day.
Oh shucks.
Yeah.
You have to send everything back again, or what? Or are they going to print more before then? Yes, you can print more before then.
Sure. You get an email with all your questions and queries.
I have no right. I'm
Send
not even
an
a member.
email.
You banished me.
Send an email to info@ohm.org.za and we'll get back to you within 5 to 7 working days between the hours of 9 and 5. So yeah, what is your target? 300,000 is our target.
Yeah, that's nothing.
600,000 would be ideal, but 300,000 we can get by on.
Stupendous 360 interview. Oh, okay. Speaking with your politics, really speaking. Yeah. So I did donate 1,000 rand, and then Marlene challenged all of us to donate 200 rand yesterday.
Yes, and a lot of people answered that challenge. So thank you, everyone, including you.
Including me. I did it live on air.
You did.
So my phone's not here now.
No.
So please, people, any small amount will make a difference. For those of you that can, like with the signature, thousands of people made it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's going to have to be again.
How do I get to see the interview? Oh, the interview was on a different channel called the 360 Experience.
Oh, we can
by
find
a
it
presenter
now.
named Thomas. And it's going up. The link, there it is. You've been watching it.
I've been watching it.
That's adorable. And then there was another interview this morning on Cape Talk Radio.
Oh, it's fixed.
I know.
Lauren Bernardo, he put the R in. That's so kind. It's got 2,500 views. Let's get it to go everywhere. It'll help him with his channel too. Hey, there you go. That's Lauren's interview. He asked some very tough questions. I think he was prepped for those questions. And
what do you mean by that?
So he went and read up and said that he had prepared, but I could see he was reading off questions he had prepared before.
He sent me his questions.
Yeah.
Not that I read
them. So he was prepped. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not like he was just off the fly.
No.
Yeah. It was a prepped interview.
That's wonderful.
So he asked many relevant questions that many other people would ask. I don't see it as a pro-ohm interview. I see it as a dragging information out of you, things that doesn't make sense interview.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of people, it won't make sense. And, the own message needs to resonate with those that understand it. And then those people need to become more and more and more. We need to find them. And that was always the plan. And when you find these people, it'll become more popular. With the people that don't understand the message. I don't know how to explain it in more simpler terms. So you need to build a critical mass. I said it from the very beginning. Without building that critical mass, you won't get the people that don't understand the message to actually, through the things they suffer through, join in and see that this is beneficial. Because many people will not understand or comprehend Ohm's message.
I think it'll take a while.
No, some just never will.
It's almost like it's easier to just promise stuff.
There was one comment that understood the level of intellect that went into the plan.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So some people just won't get it, which is fine. If you have the critical mass of people that do, hopefully other people will just follow, like they follow the mainstream media and everything else. Without question.
Sir. Surely you guys have a voting station. Let me know, and let me know if you're interested in being a volunteer.
Both links. I don't know what other link.
Oh, the other link is Cape Talk.
Okay.
I'm not sure how. I think it might be on one of our groups here. Let me check.
Wow, this interview grew quite fast.
It did.
Because it was on 1,500 just. And he put in it's got 130 comments already. My word. I wonder if it's going to get trolled at some stage. We'll see.
No idea.
Wow.
Hmm.
There's another person. Some good points, but for South Africa, this idea might just be too advanced.
Okay, so it seems, Phil, you managed to get the recording of the interview. Here it is. Nice. I'm going to email you the interview to Cape Talk and then pop it on.
Okay. But thanks for joining us again. Our topic tonight, for those of you that are late, is that we have to make a choice between the greater good ideology, which gets you to hand over your freedom, your liberties, for a payoff that is being sold to you. And most people will fall for that, mostly because they aren't intellectually at the level where they can see through this. And the school system has made sure that that is the case. That's why the current school system exists, is to make sure that people cannot see through the nonsense that is spun. That's why I didn't fit into the school system, and I'm sure most of you did not either. We were not rebels. We were the people that saw through the cracks.
Here's the links to this morning's early interview. Okay.
I never switched the plug on.
Interesting, Billy. We're going to raffle days for a braai.
You need an awesome marketing video.
Any
I'm
suggestions?
absolutely up for
Welcome.
that. I'm absolutely up for that. I will, if I had to be at a braai with people.
No, you're going to do the braai.
They will, huh?
That'd be cool.
No, man. I'll just talk twak. And tell people things they never thought their ears would ever hear.
Marlene was called the troublemakers. What's troublemakers in Afrikaans?
Moeilikheidmakers.
Oh, I like that.
Strontaanvangers.
Another t-shirt idea.
Yeah. Lauren said a lot that will make sense. Lana, what makes sense to you doesn't necessarily make sense to someone else. And when you study intellect or people's ability to comprehend certain concepts, you will understand that, for instance, the own plan needs a 120 IQ and above, probably to understand the basics. It will need a 130 IQ to comprehend it fairly well. It will need a 140 IQ and a lifetime of knowledge and experience that Lauren and myself has to fully understand it. So for most average people out there, it's going to be difficult.
There's a speech delay. There's a speech delay.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know why.
Phil says Cape Talk interview was more like a trap than an interview. Yeah. That's always been my experience with Esther.
They will always do that.
Yeah. But that's okay. It's still exposure. It's fine. No news. What bad news is better than no news?
Any news is good news.
Yeah. So I don't mind. I'll accept anything, even a trap.
Yeah, Lauren, I think, can handle anything. It's just in things like that, they don't give you time to explain things.
No, not at all.
And for instance, he didn't allow her to go into the details she needed to, like she did with Thomas, where she had the time.
No, but I think that's the thing with radio. It's short segments, and they fire those questions rapidly before you've even finished the previous concept. And that's frustrating. But anyway, we have to just deal with that. I think any exposure is better than nothing. And I think the right people will investigate.
Yeah.
That's all we need. Yeah, I mean, all radio interviews feel rushed just because of the nature of the beast. They're usually just a quick slot. I think at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes by so fast, whereas the interview on YouTube was almost an hour. So it's a big difference between the two. I actually really enjoy radio interviews under normal circumstances.
The other thing that you people need to get used to is Lauren's going to be attacked. And I don't know how some of you are going to handle that, because a lot of you know her, you know me, you know our kids, you know our family, you know what we like, and you might find it difficult to see her being very badly attacked in many different ways. If you think what happened to Helen Zille and Musi Memani and James Selfie, the cartoon picture that was vile.
Don't put our tears out there
No,
now.
of course not. But um, this is just the political landscape.
Okay, let me get one thing clear, Charles. I prep for nothing. That
No,
takes away from the
Lauren
authenticity.
doesn't.
I have to respond to the person. So what I rather would have had, instead of Lester being on the fence, I'd rather have him outright attack Ohm so I can give him proper answers. But this, nonsense was just so frustrating. He clearly had an agenda, but he was not really sticking to some kind of opinion himself. So it was extremely frustrating. The fact that he started the interview saying that he only decided to interview Ohm because the leader of the Dacha party endorsed us. And I don't even know about that endorsement. I haven't even read that endorsement. I haven't even spoken to the guy. So that already creates an image. So I'd rather have someone outright attack us than someone be sneaky about it. And I will never prepare for TV. I'll never prepare for radio. I started Ohm myself. It is me. It's an extension of my soul in the world. So I don't need to prepare for anything. The frustrating thing is obviously time limitations and I suppose ulterior motives to a degree, but that's just something we'll have to handle.
And Ohm is not a democracy. And, Ohm is, Lawrence explained how many times.
I actually like that he brought that up.
Yeah, to stop subversion, because if you have voting inside a party, everything can be taken over in one foul swoop. I mean, it's madness. Your resistance will come to an end like this. So when they try and play these tricks, I mean, it really doesn't fly with anyone that's got the common sense and understand. Because those people are going, and we need those people.
There's enough people.
Yeah, we need those people.
And I can't remember where I mentioned it, but it's the people that are not voting. I think I mentioned on Thomas, the 18 million that don't vote. We've done Instagram posts on this, and I don't think people read our Instagram posts. But 18 million people could vote and don't. Those are that's the clever bunch. I see it. Those are people that just are disillusioned with the system as it stands. And that's really our target and has been our target, because many people that have joined Ohm have said to us they haven't voted in years.
Yeah, many of you didn't vote before until Ohm came along. So that is exactly the target. So welcome to the 111 people in this chat. It's really awesome to have you this time of night, and we've been talking for 47 minutes.
That's so cool.
Well, each time I say to Lauren, we should make it short and sweet so that people don't get bored.
There's no such thing as short and
minutes.
Sweet. No. Black Swan says, according to the ECR radio, eThekwini municipal striking workers will return to work tomorrow. Interesting. Huge backlog, and we'll take
There's roads of garbage everywhere.
It's horrible.
But there's some people that started doing things themselves, and in the end, that's what needs to happen. Yeah, contesting the no vote.
So signatures and campaigning is mobilizing practice.
So the 18th, the IEC will say if there's any issues that anyone needs to resolve.
And then give
2 days.
2 days. 2 days
you
to
have
resolve
2
that.
days to resolve them. If there's an issue with the candidates or anything like that.
We don't suspect any issue.
No.
But who knows?
Nothing
will surprise me.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. We definitely we know our documentation is solid. We know they have all the copies of the signatures. We know that we have the candidates we got are solid. They haven't been to prison.
There was an article that came out today that was kind of prepping people for a letdown. And I sent it through to you. And I found that interesting. Where they said that many parties will be disappointed. Now, where do they get something like this? And it was one of the Times publications. So it's interesting when I see mainstream media putting out a headline like that. I'm thinking, where is this going?
I'm not worried. I know we did everything correctly. Yeah. So, but anyone that submitted would have done the same. I would imagine. So I don't know.
Oh no, people could have paid and not had the requisite signatures. There's many possibilities. There's many. Or not put all the forms in this. It's endless things that could have happened. I think you must have paid and have had No, the requisite signatures they'll check now.
Might not. Some parties might not have put the supporting documents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, or you might not have enough signatures, but paid the fee. So they'll be no. They should physically know
Who would
immediately.
do that?
They would know
That
immediately.
is weird. Yeah.
The system closed went green the moment you said it went green. The moment you went over 13,890.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh? Water?
Yeah. You know, I was also a sheep. Let me just say that outright. I was also a sheep. Things had to happen to me for me to change how I did things. And I think all of us went through those processes in our lives. So I didn't know the difference between local and national elections. I found that out much later in my life.
Me as well, hey?
I didn't care much for politics until it started affecting me. And that is why I'm saying people change when it starts to affect them. And I trust that the events that will take place in future will get people to very quickly just adopt Ohm's plan. And all we need to do is be ready. So the last phase needs to wait for the organizational phase. You must first organize. And if you organize, you're going to accept lots of people. So Ohm needs to be ready for that by 2026.
Question.
Before then.
Remember to talk about voting in a different area.
Yes, that's super important. So I know that because that's part of that schedule. Yes, the timetable. Where if you are going to vote in a different area, because some of you have already asked about this. I just want to get the dates. If you're going to vote in a different place, you need to let the IEC know. And it's a Section 24A vote. So I think you should probably put out something promoting that so that people notify the IEC, because there's many people that said that they will be away for work or whatever. So this is a big change in these elections. So all they've done now is given a way for it to be done. But that's impractical. How many people are not going to be at the voting stations? It's going to be a lot. So they are now just going to print enough ballots for those at the other voting station. Anyway, before you could go wherever, but they had to print extra ballots everywhere in case. So they decided that that's not viable. But why didn't they tell people beforehand? That's really annoying.
No one can register. The voting roll closed ages ago. And there was a lot of information. There was a post on every poll in every neighborhood.
Yeah, Desiree, absolutely. In 2014, you realized you needed to become interested in politics when you saw certain things happening. When your kids went to school, I think that was.
They weren't at school yet.
They weren't in school yet.
They were just all born.
You had kids, yes. That's the difference.
Someone's saying, yeah. Politics is in everything and everything is in politics. So one of our
Black Swan put out a challenge. A 200 Rand, another 200 Rand challenge last night. It was Marlene.
Black Swan.
Thanks, Black Swan. Who's going to match the 200 Rand? I will.
Again.
Lauren's going to look at me with worry in her eyes.
You can pay me directly. You're not a member anymore.
Oh, sorry.
Stop listening to Cape Talk in 2021. They stance on the snake poison and the inability of some of the presenters to entertain, let alone question the red flags.
Well, they were attacking you on the CSE thing. Yep. That same Lester.
That same Lester.
Yeah. So he mustn't come and say that he doesn't know who you are. He really went out of his way to try and
I don't know. The same Lester who complimented our posters the first time we spoke. Anyway. I have a question. I had a question from you. Oh, Desiree saying, COVID made me realize that I need to get interested in politics because politics is in everything. We had a signature collector, we had a meeting, and then the signature collectors and capturers just explained their experiences. And she lives in a very, very small farming community. And she says a lot of people say, oh, but I don't do politics. And then she was like, but do you pay taxes? And then the person said yes. And then she says, well, you do politics then. And I thought that was such a profound answer because we participate unwillingly, but we still participate.
But the members can come up with excellent things like that. That can be written out on a sheet, sent out to all members as things that you can use. That's an excellent example. We have a category going on.
Someone on YouTube keeps asking me if I've paid the ICC yet. The International Criminal Court.
Yeah,
but something just reminded me. Yeah, ICE. What? To register and visit ICE headquarters. What? I agree. Actually, haters, I feel, are sometimes your biggest fans. They just have some like trauma in their lives that prevent them from being positive.
It was Lauren that found it, yeah.
Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. That was quite a few years. That was 2 years post OHM. I started OHM first. Most leave our kids alone. People don't even know that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. I will put in 100 Ugandan
dollars.
Something dollars. Yeah. Okay. So
is that US dollars? Goodness.
Get me.
I don't know what the Ugandan currency is. Thanks so much.
So yeah, tomorrow meeting with activators and any volunteers, please WhatsApp. I sent the WhatsApp number twice. We really need volunteers for putting up posters, being at voting stations, and then also taking down posters. And you will have OHM members to work with. You don't have to be an OHM member to be a volunteer. We just need lots of people. We'll fundraise for as many info-table packages as we have volunteers and area activators. We want to be in as many areas as possible. But where there isn't someone to help us, we can't be present. That's the sad reality.
US dollars. My word.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Wow. The cats.
The cats in the neighborhood are fighting.
Yeah, we can hear them. It's annoying. But anyway. Wow, we have 120 people watching. Welcome to all of you. For those of you that are late, please go and watch the beginning where we talk about the choice that you have to make. It's a very important choice. And all of us, unfortunately, are forced to make that choice. And it's for humanity. And just humans being humans.
We want humanity to progress. Well,
tell them about the breast milk. Goodness.
Biomilk. What?
Biomilk, yeah.
Biomilk with a Q instead of a K. This is something that's been developed now.
So they call it real human breast milk that's artificially made. Okay. So take out the mother.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. We know that food's been prepared in labs, experimented in labs.
How many parliaments can't you say mother anymore?
A few.
It's insane.
Birthing person.
Oh my word. It sounds like you belong in a lab.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
One day that'll be the case.
So we are unfortunately there. It sounds so crazy. It sounds like we sound like conspiracy theorists, but I can get you people saying that literally in many legislatures around the world. It's scary that we are there.
Bank
details. Yeah. Oh goodness. It is in the description below this video, but I'll get it for you quickly.
So in other news, I cooked for the first time since we were given the 11-day deadline. What have you guys been eating?
I don't know. We have to skip ads again. Okay, there we go.
Paste.
Okay, so there's the banking details. It'll also be in the first comment below this. Yeah, that's a lot. And then Payfast. Yeah, you can use Payfast from Uganda. Payfast takes a very small commission. So Payfast will be an easy way. Here's the link. Here's a Payfast link. There you go. And you've been using Payfast for a very long time, eh? Very
Forever.
reliable. Payout like clockwork.
Andrew
No
says,
issues.
people please pray for rain on the 29th of May. Because we know home supporters aren't scared of a bit of water.
No, we're gonna stand in tsunamis. Go out in sailing boats.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. See, from
111
111
to
to
1, 2, 3. Oh, I love numbers. Nella says, I saw something more disturbing, men taking hormones to produce breast milk to feed babies. Yeah.
Oh my word. You know, I believe in freedom. I believe people have the freedom to destroy themselves, their country, and everything else. I have the freedom to fight against it and try and convince as many people uh, to be free with us. We have a right to do that. And you know, when people say, but people will never change or this or that, I say, if you keep on working hard at convincing people, explaining to people, people change. This community is grown. It's still growing. And OM is growing. OM's impact is growing all the time. Exactly like we said it would.
Billy's birthday's on election day.
What? Wow. So we're gonna make sure that we make it a special one. So OM is contesting these elections for exposure.
Publicity.
Publicity. That was the main reason, because the plan was always 2026 and then 2029 for a complete takeover. So that was always the own plan since 2017, based on calculations of what is realistically possible. So, yeah, when you speak to people like Lester Kiewit, they probably think your plan is now to take over government or something. I don't know what they think actually.
You know, they actually don't want to
interesting.
know, otherwise they'd ask different questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone asked me for a Swift code, and now I'm trying to figure out how to get
The
it.
Swift code for
Getting there.
Nedbank, yes.
Getting there.
Yes, the own channel is growing. Organic Humanity Movement. The channel is definitely growing. So on its way to 4,000 subscribers. I suppose everything else is growing. Is your TikTok channel growing?
Slowly. It's very small, but I'm happy with the views that we sometimes get.
So it's about people seeing the logo, getting the exposure, wanting to know what it is, and then eventually, hopefully, people will do the Omega training. It's very important this year that we get as many people trained as possible. I hope we can take everyone all the way through. And what's it, 84 people, right? Go through all 10 modules, and then the next year, my word, applications will start in September of this year for the following year, and then we will have trainers at various parts of the country, people that volunteer, and we'll get into that later. But that'll be a game changer once we can start doing that.
Okay, I'm still trying to find the Swift code. I feel like I did this just the other day, and now I can't remember.
A Swift code for Nedbank.
Is it all the same?
No. There it is.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
And then there's IBAN. Yeah, Ned, NEDSZAJJ, all capital letters.
I'm still confused. Why can't I find it?
Oh, money overseas to someone. No, this is if someone wants to send it to you.
I don't know. I'll have to
How
find
do you
it.
receiving international payments on Nedbank? Log into the Money app, either swipe to the international banking dashboard or select Transact and then Pay. Select international payments, select Receive a payment. So you must be able to make a payment from outside like that. I don't have a Nedbank account and I'm logging into Nedbank. log into the money apps. It's the same thing.
I have no idea how to get it.
Isn't it possible to use Payfast? Is Payfast not going to be easier? Yeah. Ned is, yeah, but that is to send money overseas, I think, not to receive. I'm not an expert in these things. But in any case, it's over an hour now. We
Okay.
need to
I
let
need sleep.
everyone go to bed. You're probably still going to work.
No, nothing I can't do in the morning.
Valwiggies, né? But thanks for being with us. Just a reminder, we are fighting for the survival of humanity. I really feel sorry for the people in Europe. Firstly, they're all on top of each other.
Yeah.
And this is why these gazillionaires in Europe and Switzerland and so on think that the world is overpopulated. My word. They are living on top of each other. So, yeah, it must feel like that in Europe. But Africa, the Americas, very different story. But thanks for joining us. Any last words?
Still, wait.
What?
Might have found it.
You found
There's
it.
no Swift code details. I saw Swift code somewhere.
That is the Swift code for Nedbank.
Oh,
That,
all around.
Yeah.
Okay.
But receiving money, I'm not sure how that works. Is it and received? So it does both. Hi, Andre. Eisenfontein, it's another awesome place.
Good night, everybody. So
Good night,
tomorrow
everyone.
we'll be Zooming, not on YouTube. I'll be Zooming with the volunteers and area activators.
Yeah, and I'll be, I don't know, putting out there what I feel inspired to do. But it's really awesome having you all with us. Swift transfers are quick.
Cool.
Yeah.
Aren't we already living in a type of smart city? Sort of, yeah, pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah. But good night, everyone. Thanks for joining
Good
us. And thanks for making those donations. Black Swan said 200 Rand, whoever is willing to match that.
Mm-hmm.
I will match it.
Again, I'll update everyone tomorrow on Facebook and Twitter.
Because I think in the morning everything clears and then you can see what's
happening. Please go follow Om on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Then you'll get all the information always.
We should put those links. Where are the links on the website?
Everywhere.
Let's just put that in there. www.om.org.za. So if you go to om.org.za, you'll find the links to all the social media. Thanks, everyone. Good night.